Hi y'all, this is Regina. Welcome back to Regina's Crafting and More. I'm getting ready to kind of give you a rundown of how this little block right here stitches. This block was stitched by Janie in my group, Janie Harmon. She did a great job. She always does. She put it in this cute little hanging banner. So let's get started. Let me close this out and open my software. So this is palette 11, and let me just give you a rundown of how this works. Now, all my embroidered blocks, I've included these four steps. Okay, there's always a placement stitch that will stitch. It allows you to lay down your batting and ensure that you've got at least, let's say, a ½ inch of fabric outside that stitch line. Once you lay your batting down, color stop number 2 will tack that batting so it doesn't move, and then you put your fabric down on top of that. Here again, make sure you've got at least a ½ inch overlapping all the stitch lines. Then it's going to stitch the background fill, the decorative fill. That's these little ghosts behind here. It could be ghosts, it could be ornaments, it could be little cross stitches, any number of different things that this decorative fill could be. Now, one word of caution on this decorative fill: when you stitch this, you want to use the lightest color of the whatever color you choose. So if you choose a green, make sure that it is the lightest green you possibly can use. If you choose an orange, make sure you've got a real pale peach back there, because these lines stitched at least a couple of times, making whatever color you use darker. And you don't want your background fill overpowering your main design right here, or whatever is your main design. And then the rest of these color stops are simply stitching the actual design. So let me show you, now that I've described it. I'm going to put it on semi-fast, medium speed. So it stitches the placement stitch. You lay your batting down. You don't trim it. It tacks the batting down. You lay your fabric down, and then it's going to tack your fabric. And then from there on, it just does, I'm going to speed this up, it does the background or the decorative fill. All right, and I always leave a blank spot for your design, so you don't have to worry about these stitches popping through and showing through some of your design, or leaving little lines. Okay, so it does all the background fill, and then it starts stitching the main embroidery design. Let me kind of speed that up a little bit. So it does the body of the ghost, and then the next color stop stitches these little lines to give his ghostly figure some movement, his eyes, and it leaves a little opening for the highlights in his eyes and his mouth. Then it does the hat. Let's see here if I hate to, let me speed it up a little bit more. Does the hat. Then it goes in and does the eyes. Sorry, let me back it up. Okay, so it'll do his eyes and his mouth and his cheeks. And then I think it's going to do the leaf, a leaf here and a leaf over here. Let me speed that up a little bit. Then it does the veins in the leaves, and it does the band, and it does a little piece up here. It does the gold buckle. Then it does the the pumpkin. Right, and I'm not going to speed it up because it's almost done. And then it does the lines in the pumpkin, and then it does that little piece for his hands, the stem of the pumpkin, and then it does the bell, and that's that. Let me pause that. So this little piece on the bell, I've got it as yellow. You can do it in white, you can do it in silver. It's just a little shimmer on the bell, okay? And let me back up. And then it's going to, let's see, hold on. My computer is lagging. Something Windows did is just wreaking havoc with everything. I wish they'd just leave things alone. Alright, so it does that little highlighted area, does the clacker and some highlights on the bell. Then it's going to do all these little silver, oh dear, silver stars. Okay, and then it's going to do some highlighting on her hat, or his hat, or whatever it is, the ghost. Alright, and it'll come up here and do one up here. Alright, and then we're done. And that's all there is to this little ghost. So I hope you enjoy stitching this and making your projects. And when you do, please post a picture in the group on what you made using this little ghost. Alrighty, and there will be a link down at the bottom for my group on Facebook. And and that's it. Thank you so much. Enjoy. Bye.